Demand and supply is what I'll be covering in this video. In this video, I'll be explaining what demand and supply are, and what can change the demand and supply for a specific product. From there, we will go into how the curve for demand and supply is derived, and how various transformations the curve can undergo, including shifts and changes in quantity demanded and exchanged, as well as movements along the curve. To close off, we'll also be covering the relevance of demand and supply and explaining the various uses it could have. Demand is the outcome of decisions about which wants to satisfy. Wants are the unlimited desires or wishes that people have for goods and services. Mark wants the top-of-the-range sports car. However, he just doesn't have the cash flow to buy it. Instead, he will settle for a mid-range car which fits well into his salary. This illustrates demand, which requires that you intend to buy it and that you have the means to afford it. Aside from the price of a product, which is the greatest determinant of demand, there are a few things which change the demand for a product. When we create the demand curve, we ignore all these factors and assume they stay the same except for price, ceteris paribus. These factors include the price of related products. This will include substitutes and complements. Substitute goods are goods which are both used to satisfy the same demand independently. For example, two taxi companies, yellow and black. They can both be used to satisfy the same need, but one can be used instead of the other. Complements are goods used jointly to satisfy demand, for instance fuel in cars. So if the price of fuel goes up, the demand for vehicles such as Humvees, which use a lot of fuel, will be expected to go down. The income of the consumers. As consumers' income rises, so does their demand. This is called the income effect. Generally, a goods demand will increase as income levels rise. However, if you have inferior goods, the demand will decrease as income increases. This is because they can now afford a better product. The taste or the preferences of the consumers also play a vital role. If they prefer a product, they will pay more for it at a specific quantity demanded. The size of the household is also important. If a person has to supply for a larger household, they will have to consume more, and therefore have a higher demand.